My HGV Insurance is proud to sponsor Trucking TV. Let us take the stress out of arranging your HGV insurance.
Time now for the third and final part of our interview with Bob Carter, who's the subject of this book, You Call, We Haul, written by Matt Ireland and packed with unique photos and never before published information and details of a nearly forgotten era in transport. Here's Bob.
Then we were sort of stuck then with X amount of trucks and trailers with nothing to do. So, we went back on the container haulage, but the excitement had gone, and that wasn't the same anymore.
Was it 79, Bob?
79, 80, yeah, 80, 81. So, really and truly, I wouldn't change. People say to me, oh Bob, if you'd have stayed at Carter's you'd be a millionaire now and all this business. They're probably right, because they are. But I don't think that would have suited me. Well, I left Carter's off my own steam, nothing to do with it. I left and I couldn't see. No, I'm not sorry that I did what I did. No, I'm sorry it finished like it did.
Yeah.
But,
So what happened? Did the company fall over? Did it go bust or what?
Well, what happened? We had a contract as such, as you get with them, of local haulage in the Emirates.
Right.
In other words, Ro-Ro ships were going from Felixstowe to a place called Sharjah, which is near Dubai. And I had the contract of all the cargo, it was all Ro-Ro, so it was all wheeled, wherever it was going in the Gulf. They went bust on us. And I was advised by quite high up Arabs down there, who was our agent, he wasn't our agent, but he was a chap I worked with a lot. And he advised me not to go back. He said, because I thought I'll go back and get them, get it all. You come back down here, Mr. Bob, he said, you will be in deep trouble. Well, there was nothing to do with, I was nothing really to do. I was just an agent of the ship. Yeah. But they don't look at it like that. So we had luckily, well, maybe that's different as it turned out, we had an abandonment clause put into our insurance. But when the crunch came to the crunch, the brokers for our insurance company denied it. So I took advice from a barrister in Colchester who said, sue them, Bob, because they ain't got a leg to stand on. But by that time, we couldn't really afford to do it. And they would never admit it, but they let us go on without paying premiums. And in the end, they went to Lloyd's and said that we didn't pay our premiums, which is true. Yeah. But the 44 grand of the trailers that were abandoned, we used to, and they let us do it for 2 or 3 years. So they must have, when it came to the actual crunch, they frightened the bank, they frightened Lloyd's, and then when the bank found out that Lloyd's wouldn't insure us anymore, the bank pulled the plug on us. We weren't doing too bad actually at the time. You can't work without insurance.
Did you go on to work elsewhere, or what did you do?
Pardon?
Did you go on to work elsewhere, or what did you do after that then, Bob?
After that, I sort of pulled myself together, got my toolbox out again, still had the yard at Capel at that time, and went into fitting, maintenance, and I still knew a lot of people.
Yeah.
Owner drivers and small haulage companies, doing repairs, service and MOTs and all that sort of stuff. And then I was there for a few years. odd job. You know, I went and done some trips to Turkey with a second man on wide loads and heavy loads and that. So I ticked over, just letting the renting the operator's license spaces in the yard and things like that. And then I had a bit of heart trouble.
Right.
And I ended up having, after about 18 months, 2 years of that, I ended up having quadruple bypass. I had that. I thought, what am I going to do now? And I didn't, tell you the truth, I didn't really fancy going back into the grease and shit.
No.
I don't know how old I was then, 15 years ago. So I was about 63, 64. So I thought, I don't know, I could do a little bit of driving. So I went to see an agency in Ipswich, and they said, yeah, what can you do? They gave me a form to fill in. He said, bloody hell, he said, we haven't had anyone like you in here for years. I said, what do you mean? He said, well, you filled in all the things. I said, well, yeah, I'm old, I've done all these things.
Yeah.
You know, I can drive forklifts and diggers and bulldozers and all that, you know, handball, rope and sheeting, that was all on this big form. So he said, when can you start tomorrow morning? I said, no, I bloody can't. I said, I'll start Monday. This was on a Thursday. He said, go to Bolton Brothers Cafe at Claydon, 6 o'clock Monday morning. I said, okay, I'll be there. So I went there. No, I ain't got a clue. Oh, and he said, is there anything you don't want to do? I said, yes, I do not want anything to do with bloody London and the traffic.
Yeah.
Okay, he said, that's all right. He said, go there. So anyway, I went there. This chap come up to me. He said, you Bob Carter? I said, yeah. He said, you're with me. I said, okay, what are we going to do then? He said, we've got 30 drops all round Clacton and wherever it was. I said, oh, right. He said, do you drive? I said, a little bit. Oh, that's good, he said. So anyway, he's a nice enough chap. I can't think what his name was now. Martin his name was. And we got on well, me and Martin, and I'm still there. I on the road for years and years, and then now all I do is go in 3 days a week, quick check round the trucks, check round the cargo, what's left on them, document it as if it's right, wrong or whatever, and that's all I do.
And who is that with? Who you work for?
Argos.
So you work for Argos?
Well, that's the Argos contract,
Right.
but when I started, and I had a laugh then, because that was a bit, I forget what the people were called, no, that was a branch of British Road Services.
Right.
And I remember saying to the bloke, and he said, we belong to whoever, British Road Services. I said, Christ, Mark, I said, my old chap would turn over in his bloody grave if he knew I was working for the BRS. And then we got took over by DHL.
Right.
So, and now Argos have been taken over by Sainsbury's, but that's them.
Yeah.
We do the distribution, so it hasn't noticed any difference. But how long I'll stick it out, I don't know really.
What are you now then? You're 78?
Pardon?
What are you now then? 78?
Yeah, 79 July the 2nd.
Yeah. And you're still enjoying it?
Hmm?
You're still working and you're still doing it?
Well, yeah, I don't have to work,
No.
but I haven't got all that good a pension, but
No.
I just do it to live on my own anyway, so that's just, yeah, otherwise don't meet anybody.
That's the
So
best thing to do, isn't it?
I do it 90% of the time now for,
interest?
yeah, you know, and just see the drivers and I've always had, I don't know whether it's a knack, people say it's a knack, but I've always got on with people.
Yeah.
I can't remember anybody I would say, no, bugger him, I ain't going to work with him.
You can find more details of Matt Ireland's book, crammed full of detail and previously unpublished photos, from good bookshops and the website of publishers Old Pond Publications.
Why not give us a call on 0161 410 1061 when you're arranging your HGV insurance, or visit our website at www.myhgvinsurance.co.uk or our Facebook page at HGV Insurance, and let us take the stress out of arranging your HGV insurance.